The video shows one agent pushing Brian up against the wall and demanding he prove his citizenship.
I truly believe I was a target because of my race. I believe I was racially profiled. I believe I was attacked because I was walking while brown.
Brian says he voted for Trump.
Because I believe he ran on lies. He ran on lies. He lied to many of us.
President Trump said that he was going to do this. He said mass deportations. He said this is part of his plan.
Yeah, he said criminals. We were all manipulated. We were all brainwashed. And now look at us. We are all suffering because of it. And I feel guilty 100%.
Now that video you just saw was from a year ago today, where a Trump voter who happened to be a Hispanic man was detained by ICE. And here it is a year later, multiple deaths later, multiple occurrences later, people being shipped off and transported away from their homes in unmarked vehicles. And now we have this.
Y'all, something's got to be done about ICE. In less than a week, we've had some major killings by this agency. One over in Texas, you had a guy, he was working hard. He'd been here for 35 years, building homes, paying into the system. He was killed by ICE. And now today, over in Maine, we have a guy that was shot multiple times in front of his 3-year-old and his lifeless body tossed out onto the pavement and handcuffed after the fact. This agency is treating people like they're not human. And not only that, they've been killing U.S. citizens. Alex Preddy, Renee Good. And down here in Lower Alabama, in Baldwin County, Alabama, you've had a U.S. citizen with a star ID that's been detained illegally 3 times.
His face was bloody, his head was bloody. And I clearly heard the victim say, "I tried to stop." Well, I heard the pop, pop, pop sound, and I didn't know what it was because I thought it was fireworks and it didn't make any sense. So I went to the 3rd floor window that overlooks that street, and I could see a small sedan turned 90 degrees to the curb and an SUV like behind it, but kitty corner to it. He started coming down the street, again driving, and I don't know how. And then the SUV hit him again to try to, and then that's when he stopped. ICE agent got out, tried to open the door and had a difficult time, but eventually opened it and pulled the guy out. His face was bloody, his head was bloody. And I clearly heard the victim say, "I tried to stop." Clearly heard him say that. The ICE agent that shot him walked right in front of me. And of course, I was emotional, and I just let him have it. And he looked at me and he said he tried to run me over or something to that effect.
We're at the vigil right now, and I just want to point something out real quick. Check this out. Look at that. Cameras. You can't tell me they don't have footage of this shit happening.
I think DHS has damning, incriminating evidence about the murder of Joun Sebastian Guerrero in Biddeford, Maine, because it took them 12 hours to make a public statement, and the statement they made wasn't their usual weaponized a car or fire defensive shots boilerplate. The vehicle attempted to flee the scene, and fearing for public safety, an officer discharged his weapon. Okay, 1, law enforcement is not allowed to execute people for fleeing the scene, and 2, fearing for public safety, that sounds like there was no immediate threat to anyone, which makes it a bad shoot.
We got some breaking news now to report. NBC News is reporting that federal officials have issued a nationwide order for all agents to stop pursuing people in vehicles. And this comes after the shooting deaths of 2 men by ICE officials, the first one happening here in Houston. And just yesterday, we are getting reports that in Maine, another man was shot and killed by an ICE agent. NBC News is reporting there is now a federal order, a nationwide order by federal officials that all ICE agents have been ordered to stop pursuing people in their vehicles.
Now I want to talk about Joun Sebastian Guerrero. He was a 26-year-old Cuban national. He was fatally shot by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE on July 13th in Bedford, Maine. And witnesses and neighbors say that he was authorized to work in the United States. He had a social security number and he was on his way to work with his wife and 3-year-old daughter when the confrontation occurred. DHS is saying they feared for their safety of law enforcement and the public. And ICE officer discharged his firearm. Now, what's sort of troubling about this is that this is the excuse that black people have had when it comes to dealing with the police and getting shot. They always say that they fear for their life, so it is justified that they can go ahead and take lives. I bring up this to say that this is too much. ICE has gone too far. The fact that people are losing their lives and no due process is given to these people goes to show that we are living in America that has a Gestapo. In today's video, I intend to show you that ICE needs to be reined in because too many instances are out there where ICE is just out there harassing people. We're also going to talk about what it means for these body cameras to be off, how one man is suing because he was kidnapped and transported in and all around by ICE, and what it means for your family. We have much to discuss. Let's strap in. Let's get after it.
This vehicle is registered to you?
Yep, it's my father's.
Father's? And you were born here? What hospital?
It's not here no more. That hospital's been taken down. I don't know what it's called.
Okay, you have your social?
Not on me. I don't carry that.
What is the number?
Well, I gotta tell you my social. I'm a U.S. citizen, simple as that.
Okay, well,
And then you try opening my door earlier, too. For what?
we can do that.
You can't just do that. If you were to approach me nicely, at least, I will cooperate with y'all. But right now, right now I have 3 cars surrounding me, and you try reaching for my door for nothing.
What's your name?
Enrique, I already told you. My name's Enrique.
What?
Beltran.
Okay, keep an eye on him.
Keep an eye on me like if I'm finna go somewhere. My truck's off. This is fucking unbelievable.
Hey, my man. I like you, man. Come here, man. Come here for a sec, man. Hey, not for a sec. Put your fucking hands up. Put your goddamn hands up. I was going to do
When these ICE agents come at y'all might want to start smoking their ass, because what the fuck was that? So, bitch, you didn't have a warrant to serve? You wasn't finna bust down the door, bitch? You tried my fucking doorknob, and when you realized you couldn't get in, you just said, oh, never mind, and then went on about your fucking day to the next person to go harass? So you basically telling me that you wasn't fucking supposed to be here?
Get back, I'm gonna shoot you. You're gonna what? You're gonna shoot me?
We've been watching ICE escalate in their lawlessness, in their violence, in their brutality against citizens and immigrants, and we have been warning that if they are not reined in, they were going to start murdering people in the street.
Hey, you can't do that.
And now they've been given explicit immunity from the vice president to be violent and brutal and to murder U.S. citizens. Any legitimate administration, any law-abiding law enforcement organization would have shut this down day one. But we're now living under a lawless regime, and these goons are going to continue to get more violent because they have been given permission from the very top to continue to be more violent. Here's more evidence that ICE hires far-right militia members. This happened in Joliet, Illinois, that's the outskirts of Chicago, on July 6th. The man they are arresting was wrongfully racially profiled. They will release him about 20 minutes later. And this guy in the floral t-shirt with the Punisher skull mask on decides to shove a teenager to the ground for no good reason. That shirt is a dog whistle that he's a Boogaloo Boy, which the Center on Terrorism, Extremism, and Counterterrorism defines as a far-right movement that draws a line directly from Waco and Ruby Ridge. Members of the Boogaloo movement adopt accelerationist ideology, which calls for an acceleration of conflict through violence, such as racially motivated murders, terrorist attacks, and assassinations that result in an eventual collapse of society in which white ethno-state emerges in its place. The SPLC reported that Tom Homan, Trump's border czar and now acting director of ICE, met multiple times with Proud Boys associates over the topic of mass deportation in the months before before Trump took office. This is what I've been warning about since day one, that the biggest threat doesn't come from the military, but rather it comes from extremist far-right militias, that Trump's fascist enforcers, that his brown shirts will be the extremist white supremacist militias. Those are the people who would think nothing of genocide. Those are the people who would happily sign on to ethnically cleanse entire cities, entire states. They were so extreme and so violent that they were the FBI's #1 domestic priority before 9/11.
We tried to let y'all know that voting in this man was going to result in this country going downhill. And the fact that right after January 6th, that he decides to pardon all of these people. We knew that he was going to use some of these people in order to fill these roles, to fill these positions. Because anytime you're trying to take over a government, you need loyalists. And what better loyalists to use than people who have these extremist views? And now they're going around like a Gestapo, harassing regular, everyday people. Too many people now have lost their lives for us to think that, oh, well, it's not me. I don't have to worry about it. You absolutely do. Because this is exactly what happened over in Germany back in the 1930s. People turned their heads and they thought that this has nothing to do with me until they started getting rid of everybody that they wanted to get rid of. And then they went after everyone else. People who dissented. People who didn't listen. These people do not want to lose power. They do not believe that you have any rights. The Constitution is about as good as the goddamn thin toilet paper that you see in the goddamn Walmart bathroom. It's even thinner. It doesn't mean anything anymore. They want to cut off these body cams. And the fact that all of ICE is being told not to continue to do car stops, that says that whatever they saw in these body cams, whatever they saw on the police footage, or whatever they saw in the street cams, yeah, it was pretty bad.
If the body cameras are not rolling in a situation where law enforcement action results in someone's death, everyone involved should be fired. Everyone. Because that body camera, those body cameras the police wear are way more important for the safety of the general public than the guns on their hips. They're way more important because they are the way that we hold our systems accountable for our safety, for our well-being. That needs to be understood.
University of Maine alum Joun Sebastian Guerrero was driving to his job as a civil engineer in Portland on January 22nd when he was taken by immigration agents. His car was left in the road, his keys were on the passenger seat, and his phone was in the street. Carvajal Munoz was here legally and had no criminal record. That much we knew. So with agents surrounding his vehicle, he showed them his Real ID driver's license through the window, which matters because Real IDs are only given to non-citizens when they have legal status. An agent smashed his window with a crowbar. A second agent forced the car door open and dragged him out while the first agent pointed a taser at him. He was put in the back of an unmarked SUV and driven away. They drove him around Portland for over an hour. They stopped in the Home Depot parking lot in South Portland, and the agents finally took his photo and looked up his status. Carvajal Munoz explained that he had a valid H-1B visa and a copy of his I-94 in his wallet, and an agent confirmed that his records showed that he held that visa. The agents took his wallet but refused to look at that I-94 form. They told him they were taking him to the ICE facility in Burlington and that his H-1B visa would be revoked. So we're still in that Home Depot parking lot in South Portland, and they shackled his legs and put him in an unmarked white van. By 8 p.m., Carvajal Munoz was in a windowless cell with no beds, no chairs, just aluminum blankets and a single toilet. Agents then gave him his first bite of food since being taken, a small portion of mac and cheese. 20 or 30 minutes later, an agent told Carvajal Munoz he was, quote, not supposed to be there and that he was free to go. He asked where his car was, where his phone was, but got no information. Instead, he was given a bus schedule. He took a cab to South Station in Boston and took a bus that he paid for back to Portland. Carvajal Munoz was back in Portland at around midnight, 15 hours after he was taken. Just a mind-blowing story.
Now imagine a situation where these body cams are off, or you have ICE agents who are inappropriately targeting you. They take you, drive you around for hours, bring you from, van to van, city to city, no food, barely able to stop. They don't give a shit if you piss on yourself or not. They don't care if you're hungry. They don't care if you're thirsty. They don't care that you have rights. They don't look at you as even human. And that's the best case scenario. Imagine that you're just living your normal life, going to work, and then now you're being harassed by ICE agents. You're with your family, and now, your life is in danger. That could be you. That could be your family.
Oh, it is ICE.
No way.
Yes, recording.
I'm recording.
No, stop.
Oh my God, it is ICE.
How are you guys doing?
Good, man.
What's your name, sir?
Carlos.
Carlos?
Yes,
you
sir.
have an ID?
Sure. What's the reason for getting pulled over?
Because you look like a target that we have.
Handsome target?
Thank you, sir. Have a good
All right.
Have a nice day, okay?
Uh-huh.
Now, what if they had shot into that family's car? What if they had taken that man out in front of his wife and his daughter and threw him to the ground and beat him up? Like, you all didn't think of none of this shit because you all only thought they were going to go after the quote-unquote criminals. But they are the criminals. This is a criminal organization led by a criminal. You all voted for a criminal to get into office, and you wonder why he's going after you? Because you all think that you're no different. Some of you all think that you're one of them, that you're one of them people. And as soon as they get everybody they want to get, they're going to look at you. They even say it. If you have any pigment, melanin in your skin, you're not from this country, your people not from this country, you're not one of them. If you're not rich, I mean filthy rich, where you don't even eat where normal people eat or shop where normal people shop or hang where normal people hang, then you are not one of them.
Listen, I'm not saying that the black community is always right. But when it comes to being on the right side of history, the black community is on it. They are our moral compass, our nation's conscience, from the abolition movement to the civil rights era to the George Floyd protests. I mean, if we had listened to them, we wouldn't have a masked ICE army terrorizing our nation right now and killing folks on their way to construction sites. So, when the history of this time, this Trump era is written, you better believe they're not going to be on the wrong side of history.
Every single American that keeps saying, by law, they were required, by law, by law, by law. They were supposed to do this by law. They broke the law. The law doesn't fucking exist. The law doesn't fucking exist in America, everybody. Every single member of the government is a criminal!
I've never understood it. We've got PD files running our country, and they can do whatever they want, but we've got these rinky-dink fucking laws. I mean, you get enough tickets, I don't know how it is now, you get enough tickets, they put you in county jail. You don't pay those tickets, you go to county jail. You've got motherfuckers in Washington, D.C. that are doing horrific things to kids and nothing happens to them. Fuck their laws. When there are new laws about you can't criticize Israel and this and that, fuck them. Not going to stop talking about it, not going to do it. You have to stop being afraid.
Everything that they said is correct. At this point, there is no laws. There is no constitution. There is no voting our way out of this. Because these people know that they've gone too far. Even Steve Bannon said that if we do not win the midterms, some of us in this room are going to jail. That right there, and he made that months back. Since then, they've gotten even more radical. A lot more crazy things have happened. They've done more criminal activities. More people have died. There's only one way out of this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up now, because for anybody who isn't black or brown, this is on you. You all should be on the front lines and you should be all fighting for this, but you don't. But the movement that started was because we put our bodies on the line, because black blood was spilled. And now America is under attack within. And a lot of you all talk a good game, but then you vote differently. You talk a good game, but you aren't willing to fight for this country. And right now, this country is under attack, domestically and by foreign actors. So when I ask, what are you going to do about it? You have to realize we can't go back until everyone is on the same page, that democracy is gone. Democracy is under attack. What are you going to do about it? Stay vigilant, stay engaged, stay revolutionary.